Everyone has a favorite movie, a book they can read over and over again, or a story that feels deeply personal. But today, I'm going to tell you something that might completely change the way you see every movie, every book, and every story you have ever loved. Because there is one hidden truth, one secret pattern, that once you understand it, every story becomes predictable. The magic starts fading, not because stories get worse, but because you begin to see the machinery behind them. And that secret is this. Almost every great story follows the exact same formula, the hero's journey. Whether you're watching Harry Potter, The Lion King, The Avengers, Star Wars, or reading ancient myths, they all follow the same pattern. A hero in an ordinary world, a call to adventure, a refusal, the appearance of a mentor, challenges, a crisis, transformation, and then the return. Once you recognize this pattern, every story begins to look like a blueprint. The scary part begins when you start noticing it without trying. You're watching a movie and suddenly you think, the dark moment is going to happen soon. 10 minutes later, it happens. Then you think, now the mentor will guide the hero, and of course, that's exactly what happens. The magic you used to feel turns into prediction. You're no longer watching the story, you're analyzing the structure. The twists feel less surprising, the emotional moments feel engineered, and the entire narrative starts feeling like a machine that you can see through. It's as if the curtain has been pulled back, and you suddenly realize that every story you loved was carefully constructed using the same skeleton. But why does this happen? Because the human brain is designed to seek patterns. Writers know this. If a story becomes too chaotic or unpredictable, the audience disconnects. So storytellers rely on a structure that has worked for thousands of years. That's why heroes grow the same way. Villains often share similar motives. Emotional low points always hit right before the climax, and comebacks always follow a moment of deep failure. The more stories you consume, the easier it becomes to detect these patterns. And one day, without warning, everything starts to feel familiar, even predictable. But here's the twist. Understanding the formula doesn't have to ruin storytelling for you. In fact, it can make it richer. Once you understand how stories are built, you start noticing things you never paid attention to, the meaning behind a camera angle, the weight of a specific line of dialogue, the subtle foreshadowing hidden in the background, the emotional beats a writer carefully placed to guide your feelings. The magic doesn't disappear, it simply transforms. You begin to appreciate the craft, the effort, and the intelligence behind every scene. You understand why certain stories connect so deeply and why some fall flat. The experience becomes deeper, not damaged. Still, here's a little advice. The next time you watch a movie, try to forget the patterns. Let yourself feel the story the way you used to when you were younger, curious, unaware, open. Because stories aren't just entertainment. They help us grow, reflect, heal, and understand ourselves. And maybe the magic of storytelling survives only when we allow a little wonder to stay alive inside us. Because in the end, stories don't change. It's us who change.